getting to that, and that is, well, needless to say, I didn't last more than a year in New Orleans. I ended up, down there. It's such a transient city. It's sort of like I always thought of New Orleans as this place like if there were tubes that came from Chicago, Los Angeles, Vancouver, Boston, New York City, and every criminal and hustler and person who just wanted to disappear got into a chute and they wound up on Bourbon Street. Those were the people that I was running with down there, and I ran out of gas real fast, sick as a dog. I ended up getting the deposit on my phone because it's so transient. They make you put a big deposit on your phone. I get the deposit back. I run to the methadone center. I get a go dose, and I get one right there. I get a bottle of Jack. I get on a Greyhound bus back to Penn Station in New York City. I pass out on the bus. I come to. I call my buddy in New York. He goes, "You sound not well." And I go, "I'm not." And the whole thing started up again, except it was worse. Back shooting speedballs, and I didn't last a year doing that. Cleaned my shit up at 25 years old. Didn't look back. 25 years of beautiful clarity and sobriety, and I get in a motorcycle wreck, flip my bike, land on my back, knock my teeth out, have massive soft tissue damage, and I think they gave me some Vicodin, and 25 years later, the whole thing started up again, and I'm addicted to narcotics, to opioids. You hear that buzzword all over the place right now. And I was kicking on 3 different continents. I'm working stories during the day, freaking out at night. I didn't have another rehab. I didn't have another detox in me. So what did I do? I went and I saw a marijuana doctor here in Los Angeles, and I said, "Can you give me the shit that knocks you out?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got you covered. We got this indica stuff. That'll help you sleep." And help me sleep, it did. And what happened was, in 10 days, smoking that stuff every day for 10 days, I kicked in my sleep. And I came to 10 days later, soaked sheets. I got to tell you, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun. But I was done. And so when you want to question as to whether or not marijuana is good medicine, let me tell you, in terms of harm reduction and the opioid crisis, I'll tell you what. In recovery circles, they'll tell you, "Oh, don't do anything that affects you from the neck up." And I'm telling you,
like thinking.
Yeah, it'll take you right back to where you were. No, narcotics took me right back to where I was. Marijuana, what does it do? Indica makes me want to go to bed safe and sound, and that's exactly what it does. So it's nice to be celebrating legal marijuana in the state of California.
You know what I think is interesting? Just there was a story in the news this week discussing states where recreational marijuana has been legalized, and they were saying that on 420 there are more car accidents in a comparable manner to drunk driving accidents on Super Bowl Sunday. This week there was a horrible tragedy, school shooting in Florida. And I find it interesting that the people who want to tell us that when there are more car accidents on 420, it is because of marijuana. It is because of the drug. But when someone goes and shoots up a school, it's the individual. It's not the gun.
Right.
It's just a strange double standard, I find.
Completely. Double standards abound when it comes to the healing herb. Anyway, it's the gray zone. So, reach out to me. If you got a tip, markebner59@gmail.com. Carl, tell us about Radio Titans and how they can get in touch with us there.
Yeah, Radio Titans Mail at gmail.com, and check out all our shows out at www.radiotitans.com. We've got a lot of good ones. So, thanks.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess this is it. I'm going to be coming at you every week from here in Koreatown, USA. And, we're going to be discussing what? We're going to be discussing crime and Hollywood and the intersection thereof. I was thinking, you know what? Next week, this will get you listening. Something turned up on my laptop last night. I have 5.5 hours of the original Heidi Fleiss wiretap tapes.
Wow.
Yes, sirree. And we're gonna build a show around that, only because, yeah, it's back in time. We're going in the Wayback Machine. What was it, 1993 when she got busted for pandering?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, the last she had been arrested, she had been charged, and she's trying to get her affairs in order. Heidi Fleiss is now, to frame it up. Of course, I think everyone listening understands that she was the notorious Hollywood madam. Clients being who? Charlie Sheen, the head of a studio, Robert Evans,
Tom Sizemore.
Paramount, Tom Sizemore.
Well,
she
he
ended up
dated-
dating
yeah.
her after.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was a client. He probably was.
Believe me, he paid for it one way or another.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and she was the gold standard of high-end prostitution here in Los Angeles. And anyway, what is interesting about these tapes is it's 5.5 hours, and we're going to have to cut it up. I'll get with you, Dave, on this. But what's interesting about it is she's already been arrested. She's on the phone, still doing business. Completely and totally unrepentant. And part of it I can understand. She's just, plying the age-old, the world's oldest profession, as they say. But I have the feeling there was meth involved. So you're going to hear her on tape next week, and you decide. And we're going to have some fun inside the mind of Hollywood madam Heidi Fleiss. Again, it's Mark Ebner, the Gray Zone. Thanks for joining us. And I think we're just going to let you out with a little Toots Thielman's Bluesette. Have a good one.